Today, I'm going to be answering your top questions on gut health, hormones, metabolism, and even fat loss. And here's the deal. If you're new to following me, I worked with over 2,000 women over 30 struggling with hormone imbalances, gut issues, and I helped them lose 5 to 40 pounds in 90 days, all by healing their gut and in a way that their results are permanent and they feel phenomenal at the end. So we're going to dive right into it. And I'm Elizabeth with Elizabeth Ayler Fitness. I have my 4-year degree in kinesiology, CSCS. I'm a holistic nutrition consultant, GAPS practitioner, especially in the gut, and an FDM practitioner. So let's go right into it. The first question that I get is, why can't I lose belly fat even in a calorie deficit? There's 3 aspects that I want to actually hit on, because a lot of clients that come to me, they've done Ozempic, they've done the lap band, they've done keto, low carb. They're at this point where they feel like their metabolism's slow, they have hormone imbalances, maybe thyroid issues, they can't lose stubborn belly fat, and they don't know what to do. So the 3 key things that I want to hit right now is inflammation, because inflammation blocks fat burning by interfering with your insulin and leptin signaling. And inflammation could come in multiple different ways. I kind of look at inflammation in terms of a few outlets. First, our diet. A lot of dairy is inflammatory. You know, as we get older, we may lose the enzyme to break down lactose. I had eczema, rosacea all over my face, my body. Dairy was my big sensitivity and a driver a lot of individuals as we get older. Also, seed oils, which are in a lot of processed foods. If you eat out a lot, they cook all the meat and everything in those seed oils that are highly inflammatory, and even gluten. Other areas of inflammation could be things like we're over exercising, not getting enough sleep, living in a state of chronic stress, all my busy moms out there. And our body just gets to this place where it feels like, I always said, when I was in a place where my gut was the worst, where my hormones were all off balance, where I couldn't lose stubborn belly fat because I was over 200 pounds, I felt like I had a layer of just fluid covering my abs. I felt swollen in my face. And when that inflammation goes down, it's incredible how your body can transform. 2 other things that I want to hit, because if you've been following me a while, the gut is my expertise. I had 15 types of parasites, H. pylori, SIBO, mast cell activation. I spent $20,000 on going to doctors, doing different protocols, and I healed myself when no one could. So when we can't lose belly fat, even on a calorie deficit, we need to look at our gut, because your gut is where you're absorbing, assimilating your nutrients. And if we have a lot of dysbiosis, which is an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria in the gut, what happens is you could have endotoxins, it's called LPS, leaking into the bloodstream. That can not only trigger inflammation, but increase fat storage and impair your metabolism. And another thing is, if we've been on a lot of antibiotics as a little kid, or throughout your lifetime, or you're getting yeast infections, UTIs all the time. 1 course of antibiotics, I don't care if it was when you were a little girl, it completely wipes out your gut microbiome and changes everything, like everything. And it doesn't restore. We have to do it in the right way. And if we do it over our lifetime, and then now we're getting more sick, and we're in our 30s and 40s and getting all these health issues and thyroid issues and autoimmune conditions now, and can't lose weight, we need to look at restoring our gut. And then the third key thing that I want to mention for belly fat storage is cortisol resistance. That midsection fat storage, even in a caloric deficit, we need to look at our stress, our sleep, our diet, and our gut health. If we're in a place where we're unable to lose weight, we're over 30, hitting 40s, where we're hitting perimenopause time, and we're struggling. And it's not just about cut your calories more, guys. I work with women all around the world. Like I said, they lose 5 to 40 pounds in 90 days with my 90-day whole body transformation, but they're eating more food. My client Gina went from 900 calories to 1,600. She dropped 25 pounds in 90 days. We just messaged the other day. She's down 50 pounds now. We're 3 months post working together. She is doing this permanently. Her gut is cleared. She did Ozempic. She did the lap band, all of the things. Now, we're going into my next question today. And my next question is going to deal with bloating. So the question that I get is, what if your bloating has nothing to do with food? And what I mean by this, if you're that type of person where you're like, I can eat the same meal the next day and I'm still, one day I'm bloated, one day I'm not, I can eat the cleanest diet, but I'm still looking 6 months pregnant by the end of the day. And I don't know what is going on. That was me. I was down to 3 foods, and even those would cause me good and bad days with bloating, constipation, and even IBS. And what we need to look at, if bloating isn't the food, we need to look at our vagus nerve, because our vagus nerve dysfunction, it affects that motility. Meaning if we've even had concussions, car accidents, that could actually throw off your vagus nerve, and that could slow down your transit time, meaning that your food, even eating the cleanest food, it's sitting in your gut longer and it's fermenting with that bacteria. So if we already have an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria, and then on top of that, we have slowed motility, we're not having daily complete bowel movements, that food is going to sit there, it's going to ferment, cause more gas, bloating, and distension, and make you feel like CRAP, excuse my language, and make you feel 6 months pregnant and have that pain in the gut. A few other things are stomach acid. As we get older, even due to stress and everything, things like H. pylori, if we have had that stomach infection before, typically we have low stomach acid. Stomach acid actually denatures our protein, breaks it into all the amino acids for building muscle. Also it kills off bad bacteria in the gut. We don't just want to go take another supplement, because if we have things like H. pylori or gastritis or a lot of inflammation and irritation in that gut, even though we may have low stomach acid, it can make things worse and almost cause more fire to the flame, because it's acid, it's acidic. So there is a right or wrong way of doing this. If we are having the bloating, even eating a clean diet, and it does have to do like, hey, you've had H. pylori or we have low stomach acid. If we have a lot of inflammation, we need to seal, we need to heal, we need to restore before we even throw this in, because it can create a whole host of pain and throw you feeling backwards and make you more bloated and more reactive. And then one other thing is that fight or flight response. We know stress is not sexy, but I'm throwing it out there because I pushed it along for so long. If you are in a chronic state of stress all the time, you're waking out, you're already waking up in the morning, stressed out about the day, running here, running there, not sleeping, doing intermittent fasting, overdoing your exercising, not getting enough fuel, all of those increase that cortisol, fight or flight response, reducing blood flow to your digestive system. And you could be eating the cleanest diet, but it's going to make you feel bloated and horrible afterwards. Now, I got more questions that we're about to hit, but I am so excited because my next 90-day whole body transformation, it is starting in under 2 weeks on June 16th. And I am looking for 10 busy women ready to transform their body in 90 days and get lasting results. And this is the exact gut and hormone reset that I used with over 2,000 clients to help them shed fat with hormone imbalances, thyroid issues, gut issues, all while healing that, getting it to a place where their stress is down, they're sleeping better, their cravings are gone, they're building muscle while shedding fat, even getting off of HRT, pooping again, all of the things. Because I don't just focus on calories in versus calories out with my diet. We look at the whole body, getting to the root cause and healing you. Healthy body equals healthy body weight. And if you're ready to transform your body, send me over that DM ready on Instagram or head to the show notes below, and I will put the link to set up a call with me to see if we're that perfect fit. This is your unicorn moment. Remember, 6 months from now, you could be in the exact same spot or 6 months closer to your goals. What's stopping you? Now, we're going to come back to it. The next question that I get is, why does fasting work at first, then stop? So if you were like me, you want to lose weight, you go all in, you're doing 12-hour fasting, then you see people doing the 16-8, then you're doing 24-hour fast, and you think more fasting, more fat loss. Well, here's the deal, because women are very different from men. First off, anything like that could be a positive, but when we overdo it, our body is going to adapt to it. So if you're that person that's doing intermittent fasting every single day, I like to use it as a tool to get you over a weight loss plateau, or use it for healing in specific ways with specific clients, but not as an everyday thing. If you're fasting all the time and you're taking it to even more of an extreme, it could actually increase cortisol. So we want to look at women 30 plus. If we're hitting 40s and we're going through perimenopause, which is 10 to 15 years, where you're losing muscle at a rate of 40 to 50% faster, you're having shifts in your hormones, then overdoing fasting, skipping breakfast, it's going to spike cortisol even higher. You're going to realize that you're no longer sleeping good, that you're starting to get more stubborn belly fat, that you're having more chronic anxiety, more cravings, more binge-like tendencies. You feel like you're not getting a muscle pump in the gym anymore. That was me. I've done keto, carnivore, all of the things, all the intermittent fasting. And it's about finding the right balance. I don't really use intermittent fasting with my clients. I do more time-restricted eating. And I have a client that was doing 72-hour fasting. She's eating now breakfast before her workouts. It's 6:30 in the morning, and she's down 12 pounds with ripped abs, shredded, full energy, feeling her best self. And she's 57, guys. Like she looks like she's on steroids. She looks phenomenal. I'm putting up her case study soon. We healed her gut from chronic SIBO, and her body transformed. So when it comes to intermittent fasting, number one, too much of anything, your body's going to adapt. Number two is we need to look at our hormones and where we are at our life, because if we're already not sleeping good with chronic stress and anxiety, and then we're fasting for so long, that could increase cortisol, cause blood sugar swings, and really metabolic inflexibility versus flexibility. Now, the next question that I get is, I have a whole list of them. Ooh. Are your cravings gut driven? I love this one. On my YouTube, if you type in cravings, I have 3 amazing videos on how to eliminate cravings, because I help my clients eliminate them in a matter of 7 days with just tools. It is not willpower that you have cravings. Number one, it does have to do with our gut. It's a big thing with our gut. If we're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugars, and we have things, overgrowths like candida or even dysbiotic bacteria, those could really hijack your dopamine and increase sugar cravings. So if we have already, we've been on antibiotics, or we have an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria, or we have candida, yeast, those dysbiosis in the gut going on, SIBO, if you're eating more of those sugars and things that feed that, then your body is going to crave it more. So there's always that, change up where we are killing off that bad bacteria, not through herbs, remember, through really resetting and rebuilding the right gut microbiome for it, that you may go through a die-off phase, and then the sugar cravings, they go away. Also, gut inflammation, it alters the serotonin in your mood and even emotional eating. I was a young girl. I actually had severe OCD. I was put on SSRIs for over 10 years. I thought serotonin was made in the brain. No, it is made in the gut. 95% of your neurotransmitters, your serotonin, which is your happy hormones, like your dopamine, your GABA, your calming hormones, that is all made in the gut. If you have a lot of gut inflammation, leaky gut, and dysbiotic bacteria, it's not always, and I'm not negative on any antidepressants or any of that. I was just on them for over 10 years and I wasn't getting better with the therapy, with all the things. And when I healed my gut and started rebalancing everything changed. I was able to get off my medications. I've had clients be able to get off of Xanax, all of these things by healing their gut. And I always want to, mention that our serotonin and all of these are made in the gut. So if we're dealing with depression, anxiety, our gut plays such a huge role with that gut-brain connection. And cravings, they're not weakness. They're, I would say, microbiome messages, because when we make small shifts with our diet, our stress, and our gut microbiome, cravings I've seen go away within a matter of 7 days with my clients, and energy goes up. And then weight loss and inflammation, everything starts transforming. And if you head to my case studies playlist on my YouTube, I actually deep dive into all my clients' case studies of how we help them lose 5 to 40 pounds by healing their gut. And that really leads me into the next question. What are signs of having an imbalance in our gut? And I'm just going to name a few out there because you could have no bloating, no constipation, and still have gut issues. That would show up number one on your skin: eczema, rosacea, cystic acne, also psoriasis. Your skin is the mirror of our gut. Other things, histamine issues. So rashes, migraines. I had migraine 24/7. My nose would run to everything, even white rice, because my histamine bucket was overflowed. I did a whole video on histamine sensitivity last week on my YouTube. It's called the #1 sensitivity doctors don't find. Check it out. I posted it last Sunday on my YouTube channel. Other things, rheumatoid arthritis, joint pain, IBS, bloating, constipation, thyroid issues, hormone imbalances are a big one, PCOS, endometriosis, any of these autoimmune conditions as well. All of them are related to our gut. And a lot of us are running around. We were either a C-section baby, been on antibiotics, horrible diet for a while, overdid alcohol, went through chronic trauma, which is stress. All of these things wreck holes in our gut lining, leading to that leaky gut. And then it just gets worse and worse and worse when we don't address it and we get older and we keep doing these things that we don't know what the root cause is. And it's not through just taking another probiotic, because if we have histamine issues, that can make it worse. If we have SIBO, it can make it worse. It's about really looking at the whole body. And that's exactly what I do with my clients in my 90-day whole body transformation. So if that's you and you're hopping on, head to the description below. My next 90-day whole body transformation is starting on June 16th. And I'm looking for 10 busy women ready to transform their body, get their sleep on point, stress down, learn everything about training, nutrition, macros, all of that, so that you don't need me after the 90 days. You could actually sustain this long-term while feeling strong, sexy, confident with workouts, events, parties, traveling. Now, we're going to my next question here. Ooh, I love, love, love. Okay. What are signs of a weight loss plateau? This is my favorite over here because I see so many women that if they don't have a change in the scale every single week, they think they hit a weight loss plateau. And this is where I see a lot of women go wrong. So 6 weeks of no change in the scale, no change in the way that your clothes are fitting, no change in your measurements or even health markers, that is officially a weight loss plateau. I see so many women, they either go to coaches or they, get a tracker out and they say, I'm going to add in a bunch of cardio. I want to lose weight. I'm going to cut my calories to 1,200, and they go hard. What they don't understand is that everybody's body adapts depending on, your muscle, your genetics, your age, all of that. 6 weeks to 8 weeks later, that could be your new maintenance. And then where do you go from there? And on top of that, so many people, if they see a change that first week, and then the next week they see a smaller one, they'll try to cut more and increase more cardio immediately when they truly didn't hit that weight loss plateau yet. So remember that. If you want to track your progress, and that goes into my next question, what are the best ways to track your progress? Don't just look at the number on the scale. I like to use measurements with my clients because if you are losing inches, that is true fat loss. The other area is the way your clothes are fitting. If things are getting looser, that could be body composition changes, because I have clients too that we have body recomposition going on where they're losing fat, building muscle while eating more food and building their metabolism, but the scale is not changing a whole lot, but the clothes are fitting differently. The measurements, all of that's changing, but the scale's not. So if they just focus on the scale, they wouldn't be seeing all of these changes that they're having. Progress pictures are another great way because you look at, every few weeks, look at your pictures and see the changes in your physique. And then also, this is my favorite tool because I did come from an ED past. I look at my strength. If I am getting stronger in the gym and I am fueling my body right, I can't be getting fat. So if you're getting stronger, your energy is higher, your recovery is better, you're having better sleep, better digestion. All of these are saying that your health is getting to that right place. And remember, if we have the healthy body, we have the healthy body weight. If you're not sleeping good, you're in chronic stress, you feel weak in the gym, even if that scale is going down, it's not going to be sustainable for you because you can cut a ton of calories, add a ton of cardio. But if you can't actually sustain that in your hormones too, guys, because that's going to burn out your thyroid and everything, a year, 5 years from now, your results are not going to be sustainable. And then you're going to be yo-yoing back and forth. And the way that I do things with my clients, they're all eating more food while shedding 5 to 40 pounds in 90 days, getting their energy back, sleeping better than ever, eliminating cravings because we look at the whole body. I never take anybody to an extreme because a lot of women that come to me, they are in midlife where they're having these hormone issues, where they may have had thyroid issues, endometriosis, gut issues, PCOS, where they don't feel the best. And if we just push them even harder and cortisol goes up, they may initially lose a little bit of weight, but they're going to bing right back out of it, as opposed to getting everything set up with their gut, their hormones, their stress, their sleep, all those healthy components. And that's when their body actually releases fat permanently. Now, I have 2 more questions that we are going to be hitting today. I saved the best for last. So my next one is, why do some women gain fat after switching to low carb or fasting? So as I mentioned, everybody's body is different. For every 1 gram of carb, your body holds on to 3 to 6 grams of water. It does not do that. Sorry, I'm going to slow down. I talk really fast. Your body does not do that with protein and fat. So when you initially cut carbs, you're going to be flushing out excess water. So you go low carb, you may lose, 5-8 pounds of water and stuff in that first week. Now, with our women, as I mentioned, once we get a little bit older, late 30s, early 40s, and we're hitting perimenopause, we have shifts in our hormones and we have to look at stress and our cortisol, our thyroid, and all of our gut. So if we go and we initially cut carbs out and we do lose some water weight, then maybe 6 months from there, you start realizing, I'm not losing any weight anymore. I'm not sleeping good anymore. My stress, my anxiety, all of that is going up. So what happens is carbohydrates balance cortisol. So if we get super depleted, all of our glycogen stores of the carbohydrates, then you may be starting to retain water. Hormones are getting thrown off. Sleep gets worse. And that is going to go backwards in terms of fat loss. My anxiety went up. My sleep went bad. It was about not intermittent fasting and cutting all my carbs out, but finding the right balance so that I was able to actually have sustained energy and working on my gut. Low carb over a time period with my woman, it could lower our leptin, which is lowered fat burning signal. And then also when we go very low carb too, a lot of the times our fiber goes down. And fiber helps with blood sugar balance, and it acts as a prebiotic to all the good bacteria in the gut. So for our gut microbiome. And then one other thing is, if we're overdoing the fasting and we're already in the state of stress and burnout, that increases the cortisol. And then if we cut out the carbs too, which regulate cortisol, that could prolong our stress and cause that stubborn belly fat that we're dealing with. So these low carb, these fasting, if they work for men, awesome. If they work for you when you're younger, great. If they work for you now, awesome too. But if you're that woman and you're like, you know what, it worked for me, but now I'm feeling really thrown off and inflamed and my hormones are off and I got thyroid issues and, I'm bloated and I'm starting to gain weight or hold water, then it may be a sign that you may need to add some of the right carbs back in the right areas and strategically around your workouts. And I have women come to me on carnivore and keto that are that same way. They felt great in the beginning. Then they started hitting a roadblock. And I slowly wean them out and build them back up with their gut, their microbiome, even their mindset, because sometimes they start developing fear around food and adding the carbs back in because they are afraid of gaining weight and getting that water retention back. And I do it in a way that they're able to feel comfortable, but they start seeing the change. The sleep gets better. The weight starts coming off. The blood sugar balances out. The energy, the cravings, everything goes away. So it's not about what diet do I need to do. It's about finding the right protocol and the right system and tools for the individual. And that's the most important part. Now, I saved the best for last. So, is your metabolism slow or broken? So, as I mentioned earlier, I had an ED. I was on very little calories for a long period of time. I was eating under 500 calories a day. And when you go on a caloric deficit, and the longer you are on that caloric deficit, your body adapts to that. It becomes your new maintenance. Your metabolism slows down to make up for that. So when you're eating less food and your appetite is now less and less, it's not that your metabolism is broken. It's that your metabolism adapted to it. It's not as simple as just reverse diet, add in a ton of calories, and you're going to build it back up. If the sleep, the stress, the gut, all those things aren't in alignment, the reverse dieting does not work for the 30, 40-year-old. We do want to build the metabolism back up, and we do want to do it slowly so that we're able to build muscle and minimal fat gain, and also get your appetite back as well, because when you eat less food, your stomach shrinks to that. Think of like the lap band. And when you eat a larger volume again, you're like, I'm not hungry for it. It's because your body adapted to that and it shrunk to that. And we got to slowly build that back up. But you need to get everything in alignment. I eat over 3,000 calories a day now. I was on 500. So your metabolism is not broken, but it does adapt to the lower calories. And we have to focus on rebuilding you back up. Lean muscle mass, sleep, stress, gut, the right macros and the right foods for your metabolism and for metabolic flexibility. It's not about, do I need to go keto, carnivore, overdo the fasting? It's about finding the right plan that's going to fit with your busy lifestyle, something you can sustain long-term. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this live today. Make sure you are subscribed on my YouTube. I'm going to put a video next here. And if you're ready to transform your body in 90 days and get permanent results, if this resonated with you, trying all the things but still feeling stuck, I want you to head to the description. It starts June 16th, my next 90-day whole body transformation. And I'm looking for 10 busy women, 30 plus, ready to transform their body, their mind, their health, and get their sexy libido back. Mwah. I love you guys.